Alright guys, so we're currently waiting for Apple to release two new software updates for the iPhone. One is a major software update, iOS 26.1, which is currently sitting in beta 4. This software update will bring a lot of new features and changes to the iPhone, including the ability to customize the look of liquid glass. This will be the first major update to iOS 26. So 26.1 currently sitting in beta 4. I want to talk about what we can expect moving forward in terms of beta releases. As the official final release quickly approaches, I want to talk about what the schedule may look like moving forward. However, we're also expecting Apple to release another smaller software update. Now, this one will not see any beta testing. This software update should be released shortly with security patches and additional bug fixes for your iPhone before the next major release, 26.1. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing I want to talk about is iOS 26.0.2. Now, I've been reporting on this software update for over a week now, and that is because Mac Rumors confirmed early in October that Apple devices running the software update visiting their website. Now, typically, this is a great indicator that Apple will release a new software update in about a week after this report starts coming in. Now, it's been longer than that. Now it is late October. Where is iOS 26.0.2? I have to be honest, I thought Apple would release this software update last week on the week of the 19th of October. Obviously, that did not happen. Now we're coming into a new week, the last week of October, and there's honestly still a possibility that Apple could release iOS 26.0.2 on Monday or Tuesday, the 27th or the 28th. However, if that doesn't happen, one thing could have happened, and that could be that Apple probably scrapped altogether and canceled iOS 26.0.2 as both software updates were coming closer to a release at the same time. Keep in mind that Apple has been testing 26.0.2 since early to mid-October, reported by Mac Rumors. It is late October, but we're still testing 26.1, the next major release, as I mentioned. So 26.1 currently sitting in beta 4, and this upcoming week, the week of October the 26th, right here, so the week of October the 26th, tomorrow on Monday the 27th, we could see the RC, which is the release candidate for iOS 26.1. Now, if Apple releases the RC, it doesn't make any sense for them to release 26.0.2, as that typically means that this next major update could release in about a week after that. Now, that's typically what we see from Apple, but no one really knows exactly the schedule. So there's two scenarios, as I mentioned before. This upcoming week, Apple could release the 5th beta instead of the RC for iOS 26.1, and then release 26.0.2 on Tuesday right after that, or vice versa. And if that was to happen, then that would make more sense. However, if tomorrow on Monday, Apple releases iOS 26.1 RC, I wouldn't expect 26.0.2. I would think that all the security patches and bugs being addressed with 26.0.2 be shifted over to iOS 26.1. No one really knows the schedule. It is very interesting that Apple has not released 26.0.2, and again 26.1 at the RC could be right around the corner. Now, in terms of release date, I've always mentioned that regardless of the schedule, I believe iOS 26.1 will release to the general public on Monday, October the 10th. So again, no one knows exactly the schedule, only Apple does. But based on my experience here on YouTube, oftentimes, if we get the RC, no later than 2 weeks after that, we get the official release of a software. So tomorrow is a big day, Monday the 27th. If Apple does release a 5th beta for 26.1, then I could expect or would expect a minor release right after that with bug fixes and security patches. If they release the RC instead of a 5th beta, then that means they plan to release iOS 26.1 the first or second week of November, and maybe, just maybe, Apple just canceled altogether all plans to release 26.0.2 and will add all those security patches and bug fixes to 26.1. So I'll get back to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.